American Homes for Rent is one of the biggest companies, or at least one of the bigger players in the last 2 or 3 years that just purchased a lot of property. A lot of buyers, maybe like yourself, found yourself in competition with this company or companies like this company that was essentially gobbling up homes. And, you know, there were, I remember, offers 50K, 100K above price. And we're giving sellers just nice dreams of selling their house for 50 to 100K more, cash, easy sales, and honestly made realtors fortunes. And I'm sure something that in the industry is missed very often, because it just made everyone look so good and feel good, except the buyers that were getting outbid. I want to give a shout out to Prakshaw, one of our top community members in our Discord channel, that gave me a heads up on this leak. Essentially, he discovered, and then I followed up on, that American Homes for Rent actually might be liquidating a lot of houses. So I'm going to kind of take you through the flow of how we discovered this and our research. And it's definitely not done yet. This is definitely the first part. I implore you, especially if you guys are watching this in a major city, look it up, go on your county assessor records, look up some of the names I'm going to give you today, and just see for yourself what's going on. And once again, not major numbers or alarming numbers, but it is definitely something worth noticing. First, let's get a good idea of who we're dealing with here. Now, when I say this company owns a lot of homes in our country, I mean this company has a lot of homes in our country. The best thing I can find to get a good national number is on their American Homes for Rent report, third quarter financial reports. Well, this is all public data and public information, where it clearly shares here, as of September 30th, 2022, they own 58,961 single-family properties in the United States. Now, if you don't think that's a massive number, let's just get an idea, okay? So let's just assume the average per household is going to be about 4. Yes, there are people that are only 1 or 2. And yes, there are people that are 10, 12. But we're going to do an average, and let's do about 4. So with their 58,000 houses, they're currently responsible for housing 235,000 people-ish. That's a lot of people, okay? And these folks are responsible, and of course, one company of many. And you would think when they go into a marketplace like, let's say, for example, Phoenix, where they're looking to potentially, you know, purchase a bunch of property, they would buy under just, hey, this is the company name. Well, actually, it's not as simple as that. Initially, we did see that they had one house for sale, and it was on Realtor.com. And when discovering and looking up that house, we noticed it wasn't owned by American Homes for Rent. It was owned by a company called AH4R Properties. Obviously, you can do some basic deduction here and say, hey, AH4HR, American Homes for Rent, that one was pretty easy. This company, AH4H Properties LLC, only had 397 houses. Now, that number seemed way too low. That's not even close to what they own, right? So what I did is I looked up the listing agent's information, and I said, you know, these companies, what they do is they hire one person or one team to do most of their sales. So I looked up their current listings, and not too many listings, only about 70, which is a lot for one person. It's a massive agent success, right? But for as opposed to a giant company offloading properties, 70 is nothing to be concerned about yet. What that did, though, is it gave me a great opportunity to look at the tax records of each listing to kind of get an idea of what different names they're using. Now, this is what I discovered. American Homes for Rent has multiple companies, and this is the only thing I was able to, I'm sure there's plenty more. And this is just specifically the Phoenix, Arizona area. But I'm giving you guys this info so you can kind of see when you're doing your own independent research if you can find something on your own. So the biggest one for sure that I saw was A4HR Properties 2 LLC, which had about 647. And then they had some ones like AmRes Lease 380, AMH 217, AZHR 70, AMH Roman Fund 34. And I abbreviated it, but the one here, let me highlight it for you guys right here. That is American Residential Leasing Company LLC. So AmRes Lease Law, I kind of abbreviated. So what's interesting is, this is clearly a different name. So you would assume, hey, that's probably not the house or the different company. But the beautiful thing about tax records is we can actually look up the tax mailing address of who owns it. And American Residential Leasing Company has an address of this. When you look up this address, you will see here American Homes for Rent, LP, the same address, Suite 300. So it is just a different name that they're using to purchase the properties. I'm sure there is a reason why they're doing this. I don't want to, get all the conspiracy theories all crazy. I'm sure there's a reason, corporate reason why they do it. But for those who are going to do your own research, know that they're using, creating. So I actually had to look up like AH4R and then find a listing that's active. And what you do is you find that agent's active listings, and then you can look up the tax records of that agent and just, sorry, not the agent, but the houses they're selling. And you can get a good idea of the profile of what they're using to buy houses in your city. So now to the video at hand. Currently, from what I gather, here we're gonna pull the iPad screen up again. So let's say about 1750 in Phoenix. Once again, I do think it's a lot more. I think there's different companies and different ones that I haven't quite figured out yet, but let's just assume that. And the person has about, I mean, it's kind of hard to find all the active listings of all these different shell companies or whatever, but he has, if we're assuming they're using one person, they have about 70 listings right now. So selling 70 listings out of their portfolio is definitely nothing to be concerned about. But after doing some more digging and looking into the houses that are for sale, let me delete this, get that out of the way, thank you. We can see that most of these houses that are for sale were purchased by them around 2012, 2014. Now we are blurring this information just to play things actually safe, but we can see here, this is one that was bought with, it looks like they bought a ton of property, probably in 2012. This was, I'm assuming, lots of houses for 4.5 million. Clicking random houses here. Here's AZHRAZ LLC. Here we see they bought this one in 2012. Clicking on another random one, and we are looking at this individual's listings. AMH 2014 One Borrower LLC. American Homes is what I'm assuming AMH stands for. And we do see here it's the same address. We can see here the actual tax, whatever company they created to buy these, indicates 2014, which is the same year that they bought it. Or they looks like they bought it in 2012, but it looks like in 2014 they renamed it to that for some reason. AMH Roman 2 AZ LLC, another one that was quite different, but once again there's the same address. Purchased in 2011 by the ARP fund, which was closely related somehow. Here it looks like they did sell it to AMH 2015. Once again, here's another one purchased around 2011, 2015. Oh, actually, no, this is a correction. So they actually bought it in 2011. So, Zeke, I know that was a lot of work blurring out those addresses and everything. So thank you, sir. Everyone, please let Zeke know how much we love him in the comment section. Took a nice Thanksgiving break, so I had to edit the last two videos. So definitely missed his presence. So what does this mean? Now, once again, this is still an investigation currently happening. But this is something that I hope that, once again, I'm not about giving these predictions that scare people or influence people in any way, but I'm here to educate you guys on how you can do your own independent research, and I'm looking forward for you guys to do that and leave it in the comments below or going to the Discord and talking about it or whatever. But here's what I think is going on, okay? It's not a coincidence that most of these houses were bought a while ago. And I think they're not selling any of the properties they bought in 2021, 2022, 2020 because they probably don't have a lot of money to make. You're a rental company, right? You would think you want to continue to rent as many properties as possible. And if you bought these really cheap, your monthly payments are way cheaper. And these guys probably don't buy individual. They probably borrow a lump sum of money, buy a bunch of houses, and way above my payroll here. But point is, my assumption here is the cash flow is low. Whatever all these purchases that happen, and when I checked here, the last purchase they made was in it was 8, so it would be August of 2022. So perhaps they are low on cash, and they have to select, because they're not selling everything from 2012 and 2013, 14, but they're selecting a few to get rid of and liquidate so they can make a lot of that money. Now, this is interesting. Like, here's an example that I'm specifically looking at now, where they purchased this property in Gilbert for $158,600. They are now selling that house for $540,000. So that's about, after fees, let's say about $350,000 of cash that they can access right away. Now, they're not selling a lot, so let's say they're going to sell 50 at a time or 70 at a time. They have access to basically produce $19 million. And what's interesting is, I personally, the Californians got a lot of blame, and the millennials get some of the blame, but I personally think these giant corporations are responsible for inflating the values at this insane rate, because people were forced to compete with these highly competitive cash buyers, and they were making really high priced offers and really blowing up the value of certain neighborhoods. And that's why I believe what's happening now, especially specifically with things selling cheaper, is that bloat reducing. I believe we're still going to be in a net better position if you purchase, say, in 2019. I'm hoping the equity is not as, people that bought recently are not going to lose as much equity. Anywho, like I was saying, I think this is a way for them to make up a lot of the cash that they're possibly either losing or have lost. And hopefully, I don't think they're going to go buy more properties, but there's a lot of ways we can think about this. Are they getting a bunch of cash to plan for something in the future so they have the ability to purchase, although 20 million is a lot of money, but is nothing, but you know, let's say they're doing it market wide. Let's just assume if they can do 20 million Phoenix, I don't know, scrounge up 100 million. Are they preparing and getting this money and saving it for something that's coming? Or are they using it to kind of pay back investors or keep up with payments or do something along those lines? Now, this is all public record, everybody. So you can go to your Maricopa County, or my Maricopa County, but in your case, your county assessor's office and find that. And of course, if you want to watch this video without any blurs anywhere, go to my Patreon and watch it there. And of course, you know, there's more exclusive content and all my buyers' resources there as well. And of course, I want to give a quick thank you to my patrons. Brady, Jawalin, Crystal, Gracelyn, Italiano, Nick, Alex, Tony, Pratna, Mina, Dakota, Manuel, Desiree, Chidozi, Brian, Jennifer, Bayard, Jonathan, Lamb Chops, Alexander, Ryan, and Joey. Thank you guys so much. And of course, looking forward to see you guys in the next video and see what kind of data you guys provide on your end. So let me know. Have a blessed day. Take care. Bye.